Welcome back to another edition of the Gabagools Podcast, episode 70. Can't believe we've
Whoa!
hit that milestone here.
Whoa!
As
Man,
always, with me, the co-host, Dan. How we feeling?
70. I'm feeling old now. 70 episodes. I mean, think about think about like TV shows, that run. You do maybe, depending on the show nowadays, maybe 30 episodes,
Yep.
maybe not even, depending on what show you're watching on TV a year. This is like a couple years worth, right? We're just coming at you about every week. Every now and then, you get a little hiccup here and there, but we're coming at you almost every single week. 70 episodes. I mean, we do this for the people. We do this for you, right? And 70 episodes in. I mean, what happens if we do another 70? I don't know. we're gonna
I,
be we're gonna be old men.
I know. I'm still laughing at the fact that we're 30 episodes away from hitting 100. That's still crazy to me.
30 away from Hondo. Triple digits.
I know. And you know what? And we're pumping them out. We're pumping them out like we said, one a week. We've been consistent with it. A couple of hiccups, like you said, but overall the consistency, and that's what's key of it.
We're more consistent than your average athlete, right? Just about
Absolutely.
once a week. You know what I mean? We come at you. You know what you're going to get. Sometimes, NFL. You start a guy like Jake Browning. You really don't know what you're going to get. Just saying.
Exactly, and that's why you don't spend 100 something fab on them, huh?
Yeah, definitely not. No, no way, Jose.
Nope. Yeah. Weather. It's hot outside.
Oh,
I don't really like it for October. I mean, it's nice because like soon it'll be kind of chilly out. But me personally, I've always said, I always prefer give me a nice 50-degree. I mean, it's what's funny though is like at night and when you first wake up in the morning, it's beautiful. It's a nice crisp 55 degrees, a
yeah.
little dew on the grass, and it's like okay, perfect. Then it just gets humid and hot. Yeah.
Yeah, it keeps going up. It's one of those days where you wake up and you're like, should I maybe do pants today, right? Should I do pants? Then you go out for lunch and you're like, holy Toledo, where are my shorts? Where's the dress? What am I doing here? You know what I mean? Got to get the earrings on. We all know. But, you know,
Exactly. Let the hair out.
yeah, hair's on fleek. Makeup did, right? We're all looking good today. Sun is shining, right? I'm looking outside today. Sun is out. All right. So if you're outside and you are, let's say, fairly white, right? Throw some sunscreen on because it might get you today. Other than that, a little hot for end of September. I got to say, 2 weeks ago we had like these 65, 70 degrees, beautiful stuff. Last couple of weeks, creeping up there, 80. I mean, last week we were touching about 85. I'm like, what? What are we doing here?
I know. I think it's supposed to hit like 87 today or 87 tomorrow. I'm like, oh my god, yeah,
Yeah,
far too hot for us. And like you said, but I wear sunscreen all the time, so tattoos are too expensive to not do that. So
you're always prepared.
always, yeah, I'm not a big fan of sunburn. Nothing like being on vacation, and I think it's because of that trip to the Bahamas when we had like second degree sunburn. If you remember that.
Was that when my parents were married, or
Yeah.
all I remember? I don't remember too much from that trip. I do remember the one story was something happened. We were at the pool one day, and all I remember was my dad fell in like a little koi pond, or he fell in something. Other
I
than that,
don't remember that. That's
uh,
hilarious.
that's all I remember was him falling over into something. But yeah,
That is
that was a while
hilarious.
ago.
Yeah, no, that was really long. I remember being really young for that, but I remember cutting my toe because of the pool had like some sort of rock thing to climb, and I
Mm.
remember like cutting my toe on one of the rocks. Not like bad enough to make a big deal about it, but like enough that my foot was bleeding.
See, I don't know if I remember any cut toes or any bloodshed, but from what I remembered, it was a pretty good trip up
It
until
was.
the fall.
Yeah. Until that, I don't even remember that, so that's actually really funny because I could just picture it. All right, enough chit chat. Let's get into it. 162 is in the books. We're on to the playoffs. Most importantly, the most fun. October's kicking off very shortly. It's the best time for sports. We got
Best
hockey
time.
kicking off. We got NBA kicking off. At the end of this month, you have World Series. Obviously, MLB postseason. NFL will be in full swing by then. We have bye weeks coming up. Let's go.
It's everything. Everything anyone could ever ask for if you're a sports fan of any of the four sports, right? This is the best time. Now, I do love the March Madness. Don't get me wrong, right? It's a great time of the year, too. But this time right here, baseball's just getting into the playoffs, like you said, with all the other sports that are going or getting started. It's a beautiful time for a sports fan. You've got games on almost every single day of the week. Let's, earmuffs, children, fucking go.
Love it. Love it. Anyway, let's jump into the match. Let's move into the matchups. We'll start off with the AL. This is a fun one. This is a really fun one. Tigers at Guardians. Guardians coming back from 15.5 down after July 9th. You know what the funny thing is? We never mentioned the fact that they were as hot as they were. I think we sat there and said, hey, they might, after trading away Naylor, they might sneak into the playoffs. We had a bunch of teams in there. Ended up winning the goddamn division. The division that we said before the All-Star break, it's done, sent and delivered, all done.
Yeah, I mean, you got to tip your cap to Stephen Vogt, Guardians. They've been unbelievable down the stretch. I mean, let's face it, they were kind of meddling along for most of the season, right? But they did kind of what Detroit did last year. Detroit just, the whole second half, they were just on fire last year. They rolled that wave into the playoffs last year, and now this year, Detroit had all the expectations, and they were running away with the division. We've never seen this before. This amount of game lead they had, and now you look up and you're like, Detroit is going to Cleveland for game one. Only good thing for Detroit, I guess, is they have Tarek Skubal going game one, but 3-game series. Still have to try to win another game, and there's no guarantee you're going to win with him with the way they've played. Cleveland is one of the hottest teams going into the postseason, if not the hottest team. So,
yeah,
I might be picking the Guardians to take that series just because of how hot they are. I mean, I like Detroit's team, but they're just not playing well. They got no mojo right now.
Yeah, Detroit's kind of faltering down the stretch. These, the half-season wonders kind of fell off. And like you said, Cleveland just got hot at the right time. I don't know if they just decided to go full, major league and be like, hey, let's win the whole fucking thing. But they're sure as hell going to put up a nice fight against them. And there's a scrappy team. Jose Ramirez is the most underrated player across baseball. He gets his flowers, enough said. If I had to take a pick for this one, I would argue that I could pick Detroit. I'm not going to. I'm going to go with Cleveland because of the collapse. I don't think the Tigers have stabilized it. Yes, they have AJ Hinch, but I mean, the depth is just like, it looks like the pitching staff is exhausted. The bullpen's been pretty bad recently. I think they're going to get exposed if it's a tight game, and that's where the Guardians' overall kind of strength is kind of getting those like late game heroics.
And Cleveland, speaking of them, they've got a couple of pitchers that are pitching pretty well right now. Gavin Williams is pitching the best he has of his career. You're going to have him going, I don't know if it's game one or two. And then they got Bybee, who's probably going to go one of those other games. So Cleveland always is able to just churn out these pitchers that you're like, I've never heard of them. They come up for a year or two, and you're like, okay, they're actually pretty good. And their issue all the time is scoring runs. You mentioned Jose. You got Stephen Kwan, who's obviously excellent player over there. We heard some trade rumors about him at the deadline, but nothing came of it, probably because Cleveland was asking for a lot because he's an excellent player.
Yeah. Manzardo, 27 homers.
He's probably the next one. Yeah, and he might even be number two behind Jose with the way he's hit this year.
Yeah. Insane.
We'll see. We'll see, though. I think it should be a fun series. I might lean Cleveland, too, though, just with, like you said, the collapse of Detroit and how hot Cleveland is.
Yep, absolutely. And this whole thing too, it's a short series, so you really have to, win game one and make sure that you're, able to, take that next step forward. Moving into the next one, another good divisional game within the AL wildcard here. Red Sox at Yankees. This is gonna be so much fun to watch because it's always a fun series to watch. Maybe it's lost its luster a little bit in recent years.
I think it's back with this game one matchup we have.
I think we're back. In game one, you couldn't ask for a better pitching duel. At least in theory. In theory, I don't know if it's
Yeah.
announced yet. Garrett Crochet versus Max Fried, two of the arguably best AL pitchers this year. I don't know if one of them could win Cy Young. I'm not sure. I couldn't tell you the stats off the top of my head. That being said, I'm excited for that. I know Crochet led the AL in strikeouts, and I think Fried led it in wins. Which who gives a shit about wins?
You know, he still had, I think 18 or 19 wins. I mean, they both had great years. I don't think Fried's going to be winning the Cy Young. I think it's between Skubal and Crochet. And Crochet might have maybe snagged it from Skubal at the end of the year. We'll see. But, yeah, I mean, if those two are going game one, you don't get really much better than that from both teams. Um, Boston Yankees. I like the way the Yankees are playing. They're a hot team. I think they've won 9 in a row. I got a quick little stat for you.
Okay,
Last team, last team with 8 or more wins going into the postseason. Do you want to take a guess?
go for it.
2019 Nats. We all know what they did. Need a little water, but
Great
I was dying there for a
podcast.
second.
I was like, what is going on?
Woo! I need a little break. Woo! But yeah, I mean, Yankees. It's weird. Yankees had an interesting season. They're in first place for a while. Then Toronto takes it from them, and they're kind of sliding for a few weeks there. And you're like, okay, the Yankees are they going to make the playoffs? If they do, they're not looking great. Then they get hot when they need to this last month, and now they look like the team that we all kind of think like, okay, Judge, if he doesn't win the MVP, I'd be a little surprised. But Cal had a hell of a year. Stanton's
Yeah.
been swinging a good bat. Jazz is doing great. Cody's having a great year. They have a great lineup. They're hitting. I could keep rambling, but I like the Yankees in this series. What about you?
I mean, obviously, I lean heavily with the Red Sox. I think they can pull the upset, absolutely.
You picked them as your dark horse this
I
year,
did.
so I'm not
I
surprised.
I'm sticking with them. I've always been a kind of a fan of them,
Should
just
be a hell
because,
of a series.
they're just gritty. They can win with. I don't know. It does suck that they don't
I
have Roman
almost,
Anthony.
I
That's
almost
that's one thing.
that's a big loss for them. If they had Roman Anthony, now you're really like, okay, holy Toledo. I think you almost. I mean, I still maybe like the Yankees in the series, but I think the matchup, if it's Crochet Freed, with the way Crochet's been, I mean, he's about as dominant as it gets. I still love Max Fried. You almost slightly give the edge to the Red Sox as long as I don't know how long Crochet is going to go. I'm sure he's going to want to go as long as he can. But um, Yankees
Short
though,
series, yeah.
short series. Yankees are good though. They're back.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, when you play the White Sox, obviously they beat the hell out of them in that series. That's always a good get right game, as I like to say.
Yeah, there you go.
You know,
You guys
um,
should have won one or two of those games.
yeah. Which
I don't know
was
if it was the first game.
yeah. I mean, there was a couple, like you said, there was a couple games they should have won, but the bullpen, which was non-existent for the Sox, so
Yeah.
which is to be expected. As a bad team, you shouldn't have a good bullpen. Shouldn't. Anyway, yep. Give me the Red Sox. Moving
Okay.
on. Next matchup. Obviously, we're going over the National League. Let's do Reds Dodgers. The Cinderella story. What did the Reds win? 83 games, I think. Taking on the behemoth of the Dodgers, who have been underwhelming this entire year.
Yeah, I think you have to also mention just quickly the collapse of the Mets. Or the Mets, excuse me.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, you mentioned the Reds. It's like the Reds are just like Cleveland. We weren't talking about Cleveland a couple weeks ago. Then they get hot. They start winning a bunch of games.
Yeah.
Cincinnati, they swept us, I think, at the end of the year, which
They
obviously
did.
helped them. If they didn't sweep us, they don't get in. The Mets too. You mean they had a bunch of stats up. I mean, they were a well under 500 team after like the first couple months of the season.
Oh, yeah.
Really, once Senga went down, everybody talks about that. They're starting pitching. And we all know everybody was great, and then they became awful. But you know what? For the Reds' sake, man, you've got Hunter Green, I think, lined up to go game one. That is going to be the matchup. I don't know if it's going to be Yamamoto or Snell going game one. I don't know if they're going to let Otani go game one, but I don't even care. Hunter Green can go out there and shove 7, 8, 9 innings. He's on another level right now, And, you know,
I mean, you can
The
make
Reds have got Lodolo too. I mean, they I don't know if he's healthy. I think he is healthy, but
yeah, he's good. He's good to
they
go.
got some solid arms to throw against the Dodgers. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, they have a lot of arms, like you said, that could go. I mean, Brady Singer, Nick Martinez in a pinch could go.
Yeah,
And then Andrew Abbott, too. I mean, he cooled
right.
off from, second half, obviously, but, you could obviously throw him
He had a good year.
in game two. Hunter Green is amazing. He throws the hell out of the ball. I mean, they're a gritty team as well. That's another team that I could actually see just based off the momentum and seeing. I mean, it's a momentum versus storyline. Kershaw's final curtain call, and nothing's going to make me happier to see than game three they go Kershaw and then have like Otani piggyback with them on that. I could see that being the case too, because as far as I know, I think Glasnow is healthy too, isn't he?
Well, I real quick, I don't think Kershaw. I think they left him off the wild card roster.
Did they really?
I don't believe. Yeah, I don't think he's going to be pitching the wild card
Yeesh.
series. So
Oh well,
he's been
that
pitching
ruined
well, but
that ruined my dream there.
yeah, that would have been interesting. I still think. I mean, Yamamoto has been unbelievable. If we have that matchup, if we have Hunter Green, Yamamoto game one, I mean, it comes down to how good can Hunter Green be on the biggest stage right now in the postseason against the most feared team right now. And if he can
Yeah,
shove, the Reds lineup, I mean, they can score some runs. If you've got an equal, opposite you in Yamamoto with the way he's been throwing the ball, it's going to be tough for a lesser lineup to score. But you got Tito over there as your manager. He was able to will their way in there his first year. So
yeah.
I just feel like you can't count him out. I don't know if I can rock with him. I don't
They have the
know.
momentum. That's the thing. I mean, that's the thing with the
I just
Reds
don't
is they have
know.
the momentum going into it. They have the story. They've been so good just this entire like last couple weeks. I mean, it's either the
Yeah.
Brewers have been that bad or they beat the hell out of the Brewers. I mean, in my opinion, those games really weren't close based off of the momentum, and they went to Milwaukee and beat them too.
Everyone loves a good underdog, right? We all want to see the Reds take down the Dodgers. Everybody wants it. But,
Mhm.
sometimes you got to. Well, really quick, did I see this recently? Did Will Smith, the catcher, is he injured?
Yeah, he's been injured for some time because he dropped on my fantasy team. That's why that one hurt down the stretch too. But if he plays, obviously that's the edge to the Dodgers. But that's the question mark. Is he? He's got a hairline fracture in his hand.
Yeah, I would almost assume he's not playing. But I think it comes down to two for the. I mean, obviously, can the Reds score enough runs? If the Reds have the Hunter Green that we all think we're going to get, and if Nick Lodolo goes out there game two and does his thing, this is not an easy first couple games for the Dodgers. Um, do I pick them though? Do I take the Dodgers? Do I do it?
Yeah, you just go Dodgers. It's gonna be. I mean, realistically, I think it's gonna be a closer series than we. I think. I think it's just gonna come down to how much gas in the tent or in the tank. The Reds
Okay,
and
so
Dodgers.
are you taking Dodgers?
Yeah, I'll take the Dodgers.
Okay, just to be fun, I'll take Tito.
There you
I
go.
was gonna take LA, but you know what? Let's do it. Let's roll.
That'd be something too if moving into our next matchup with the Cubs and Padres could see three NL Central teams making it. I'm not too particular that the Reds will do it. I could see the storyline, but my head's going, hey, you're going Dodgers on this one. Make it a Dodgers Phillies series. But yeah, Cubs and Padres. That's gonna be a fun one. Basically, the biggest question mark for you guys. I mean, let me hold that. Let me bring it back. Obviously, they're 3-3. They split the series. First postseason meeting since 1984, and if you recall back, San Diego won that one. That
Throw
was a
that in
big
there.
dramatic one for the people who were alive during that time. They like to cry about that '84 series for some reason. I don't know why, but um,
Mm,
anyway, moving into the question I have for you: who's your game one starter? Because I'll give you one that
I think it's
I
got to be
like.
Matthew Boyd,
Oh,
right? I
you're in my
mean,
mind. Perfect. No
I think
argument then.
I think it's got to be Boyd.
Has to be.
Imanaga's not
Has to be.
pitched that well. Kate Horton obviously would have been. We all know he just got injured, so That's a
Yeah.
real bummer because I wanted to see what he could do out there. First season coming up, it wasn't a full season up here for Cade, but his first few starts, he'd give up a couple runs, and then we all know he went on that amazing stretch and was probably maybe not the best pitcher in all of baseball, pretty much post All Star break with like maybe a 1 ERA or something like that. So
Yeah.
um, it would have been awesome to see. That way, he would have been easy game one, and then I would have felt great with him going one, and then Boyd two. I think you have to go Boyd one now. He's just been Mr. Consistency pretty much all year.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit better the first half, 2/3 of the year, but um, you know, I still feel pretty good with him out there. I think probably Shota game two. Well, I mean,
Yeah.
I guess you have to, and then maybe JMO if necessary game three.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's gonna be a good series. I like San Diego. I like their team. They've got some good starters, and we all know they have a really deep bullpen, and that's going to be their MO, right? Just like they took a page out of the Dodgers playbook, and the last year or whatever, San Diego has probably the most feared bullpen in the sport, and you've got a couple of guys down there that can maybe go more than just a regular 3 outs. So should be a very good series. I know we've got a couple of lefties going up against maybe like some other righty bats with Machado and Tatis and some of those guys. I think Bogarts has been swinging a better bat too. So should be, we are at Wrigley. It's going to be beautiful. It looks like if it's going to be like
Yeah.
this the next few days. So people are going to be out.
Absolutely.
It's going to be a packed house. I have no choice in the matter, but I also do think the Cubs can win the series, and I
Yeah.
think that we've got a pretty good
Absolutely.
chance to do it. So I'm going to take the Cubs.
Yeah. I
I'll
mean,
throw it to you with your pick.
yeah. I mean, I'd love to be the villain here and do my normal like. Oh, I mean, I'm gonna be rooting for the Padres. Let's not get this wrong. I'm not rooting for the Cubs. I'm also not stupid. Playing at
Yeah.
Wrigley. Wrigley's going to be rocking. The boys are going to be buzzing. It's simple as that. The Cubs are going to win the series. I think it goes 3 games for sure. I think it comes down to pitching. I think you do have to go Shoto 2 in game 2 because if he has one of these implosion games that he's prone to now, then you don't have to worry about it. You still got game 3. Throw maybe a bullpen game. The way the Cubs win this series, though, they get on the starter early. Don't even touch the bullpen because if the Padres get going, I mean, they're not. Yes, Machado hits home runs, Tatis hits home runs, but the power isn't always there. They are kind of a team
Yeah.
that's like just really well balanced, and I think that's where we're going to see the biggest struggle is if the Cubs can keep up with it. If they have these, dry spells like they are prone to doing, PCA has gone from MVP to freaking PC Quad A now again. We've fallen back to earth. So we'll see. I'm picking the Cubs. I will give you guys that one, at least this one, just to watch you guys lose to the Brewers next round.
Okay. All right, Mr. Funny Man. You
I
know,
think you guys play the Brewers next. I think that's how it goes. If not, it's the
I
Phillies.
I think some of the bats were coming alive that last week or so. Say had a
Yeah.
couple homers, got into the 30 homer club. PCA did just get there with a couple late in the season, and I think the big thing for us. I mean, Michael Bush has been freaking awesome. I think he led the
Yeah.
team in homers this year. Whoever bet on that this year, kudos to you, my friend. And I think the biggest thing for us is we're going to get Kyle Tucker, who came back right in the nick of time. I think he might have played the field on Sunday. So as long as he's pretty much, it sounds like he's pretty much good to go. So if we've got a healthy Tucker with Seiya swinging a better bat, PCA doing his thing, Michael Bush, Dansby had 20, 25 homers this year. We've had really good play from the catcher position. So we've got the guys really to
Yeah.
make a nice run.
Absolutely.
The Cade Horton one hurts, especially if we do have to play the Milwaukee. And I gotta be honest, I don't fear Milwaukee that much. They're a good team. They had a great run this year, and you got to give them their tip of the cap. But yeah, let's go Cubbies. Let's go Northsiders. Come on now.
Yeah.
Come
Yeah.
on now.
We'll see. We'll see what ends up happening. But yeah,
You're taking the Cubs.
I'm taking the Cubs. Yeah.
All right,
Yeah, I'll
I'm
take
just
the
marking
Cubs.
this down.
I just think that the Padres are just so wildly inconsistent. And I think in part of that, I think there's going to be a game, probably game 2. If the Cubs win game 1, and Padres will win Game 2 with some sort of late inning heroics because the Cubs bullpen is still putrid. So,
we'll see what happens. I'm not
yeah,
worried.
all right. Yeah, I wouldn't be worried yet. It's not till tomorrow. Maybe do a little pregame throw up beforehand. But that being said,
Yeah.
let's jump into that's our picks. Obviously, the bye weeks are in there, so I will pass it over to Dan for his little fastest 2 minutes.
Fastest 2 minutes. This is America's favorite segment. This is why we saved this for the end of the podcast. So, what we do every week is we do a quick fastest 2 minutes. We always start with the Thursday night game. That is the first game of the week, and I'm just going to go ahead and get another quick sip here because I've been a little parched. Do a quick little swishy swish there. And we go ahead and get the notes out and we get rolling here. All right. Thursday night. Comeback Kyler. Not enough. As Myers drills game winner. Seattle 23, Arizona 20. That's a good one for you. Steelers enjoying New Grange with some cold pints and some Irish dancing. Game was in Ireland. Steelers 24, Minnesota 21. Falcons take early lead and never look back. Atlanta 34, Washington 27. Win of the year for the G-Men? Giants 21, Chargers 18. Texans 26, Tennessee nothing. Next game. Eagles take second half off. Still get the win. Go to 4-0. Philly 31, Tampa Bay 25. Bills real good when James Cooks remain undefeated. Bills 31, Saints 19. This is a good one for you. Ra ra Amon Ra Saint Bra ga ga ooh la la. Line 34, Browns 10.
I enjoyed that one. That was good.
Yeah, there we go. ETN great as Jags hand 49ers first loss. Jags 26, San Fran 21. Big games from Stafford and Pikachu gives Indiana Jones, that is, Colts' first loss. Rams 27, Colts 20. This is a good game for you. Shout out my love, Maria, for informing me on the game-winning blocked field goal. Bear down! Bears 25, Raiders 24. Mahomes Magic produces 4 touchdowns for big win over Ravens. Kansas City 37, Baltimore 20. Parsons Cowboys game ends in 80-point tie. 40-40. And of course, we have the 2 games tonight. We have the 0-3 Jets at the Miami Dolphins, the 0-3 Miami Dolphins at 6:15. And of course, we have the Bengals, 2-1 Bengals, that is, at the 1-2 Denver Broncos at 7:15 p.m. Those times are in.
There you go. And that was Dan's fastest 2 minutes. All right, let's jump in. Thursday night game. We always break them down. Sam Darnold, the prince who was promised, hung tough. I know the offense kind of sputtered near the end, but he was able to make a couple big throws to JSN down the stretch. They ended up winning 23-20, even though Jason Myers almost blew that game for him. Missed that field goal and ended up giving the Cardinals that big field position. They drove down the field and tied it up, or I think they tied it up. Either way.
This is the game of redemption, is what this is, right? You miss a big kick and then you come right back, you get the opportunity. I mean, Arizona scores with 30 seconds left or something, and you're thinking, all right, this game's
Yeah.
probably over. And then, or it's tied or whatever, right? And then you come down and you're like, all right, all you got to do is, make a good cook, do your thing. Redemption, revenge, they're both a dish best served cold, my friend. And
There
that
you go.
is
Quote it.
Thursday night.
Put it on a T-shirt. Put it on a
Boom.
poster. There you go.
T-shirt idea.
Yeah, I mean, I think the big picture too is that I don't think Kyler Murray gets enough criticism. Former number 1 overall pick, and seems to just go, scratch free. No one, rips him apart like they rip apart Caleb Williams or any other quarterback. Lamar, people love to rip on Lamar too. Kyler Murray's done nothing since basically DeAndre Hopkins left.
Yeah.
And he's got one of the best wide receivers, arguably, too, in his second year. So we'll see what they do going forward. I do think the Seahawks and their defense are for real. They're going to be tough down the stretch, and I think that division is theirs to win. I mean, honestly, with the 49ers injuries that they have.
Yeah, and I think Seattle, they went to 3-1, if I'm not mistaken, in that game. So,
yes, sir.
Like you said, I would agree with you on that.
All right, moving into across the pond, as they like to say, to Dublin. Have you ever split the G, by the way? You a Guinness guy?
I have. I might have had one Guinness before. I would not say I'm a Guinness guy. Did I split the G? I'd have to go back in my memory. It was probably a couple of years ago. But, I'm down to have another Guinness. I think that they look cool. And, boy, I'll tell you, just doing some research for this game, I got distracted. And I was looking up stuff from Ireland. And they've got all these cool places out there. I hope the players were out there for more than a week because they've got the flight out there. I think is ridiculous, and then they got a lot of stuff to do and see, a lot of pints to drink.
Well, I had to laugh because it was funny you mentioned that because Aaron Rodgers actually complained, shocker, that they weren't out there long enough. Like they should have got out there on Monday. Yeah. Practice or had off day Tuesday so you could travel, get acclimated, and then you practice Wednesday, Thursday. But yeah, anyway, Vikings, made a nice little garbage time effort from Wentz at the end. Steelers ended up pulling out 24-21. The big news was Jaylen Warren was ruled out. So Kenneth Gainwell came out of nowhere and just put up 19 carries, 99 yards, 2 touchdowns, and added 6 receptions. I mean, that's the Aaron Rodgers special right there. He likes targeting the running backs. He has that one good wide receiver in DK Metcalf who had that big run for a touchdown. That was his one little thing. But, I mean, Rodgers is old. You can kind of see it now. It's really starting to affect him. But, I mean, the Steelers' defense, I felt like every time I was getting an alert, Carson Wentz was on his ass getting sacked by somebody. It was pretty insane.
Yeah, Steelers defense. I feel like we talk about the Steelers defense every year, right? Under Mike Tomlin, that defense is always great. And yeah, Kenneth Gainwell. I had him in my sleeper fantasy league a couple years ago, and I think I ended up dropping him. And yeah, you look at the double touchdowns, and you're like, all right, man, maybe I should have kept him.
Right, ridiculous. But that's always how it happens. That's why we play. But I think it's pretty easy to say Justin Jefferson's still that guy. 10 receptions, 126 yards.
Oh, he's a stud. Doesn't matter who's throwing to him.
Oh, yeah. We could throw to him and he'd look good.
I think he'd still look good, yeah. I think we'd look halfway decent.
I think we would look halfway decent, haircut, jersey. Anyway, yep. Steelers moved to 3-1. I'm sure Rodgers is happy about that. All right, next game, Commanders taking on the Falcons, 34-27. Dirty Birds, as I like to go by, took off. Bijan Robinson, that dude, 17, 75, and 1 on the ground, 106 receiving. I mean, he is that team. Yes, there's Drake London. Yes, Kyle Pitts. It has been revitalized thanks to Michael Penix.
Yeah.
The Falcons are an interesting team. That defense is kind of shaky. The offense,
they
obviously,
can score some points.
They can. Michael Penix put up 300 yards. I mean,
yep.
It's and
they have a nice 20-something completions.
Yeah, and it's funny because the rushing attack, they ran the ball 37 times, and it's honestly not a thunder and lightning with Bijan, but Tyler Algier, you can't sleep on him. He's almost got some nice fantasy appeal too. That being said, you go flip the other script. I think the Commanders are getting a little bit exposed. Yes, they were playing out without Jaden Daniels, but I think they're getting exposed for what they are. Most of the skill players are hurt too. I mean, no Terry McLaurin, Eckler's out for the year. They're not using our guy Bill though. I'm a little upset about it.
Well, I guess my main question for you, because you know a little bit more about the NFL than I do, is how is Washington's defense supposed to be? Because Washington scores 27 points with their backup quarterback. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's able to win you a lot of games, but you give up 34 points. Now, Atlanta's got a good offense on paper, but they don't score 34 points every week. We know that.
Yeah, didn't they get blanked by Carolina last week? I mean,
I'm
what the
pretty
fuck?
sure they put up a zero.
Excuse
So
my
it's like,
language, but
they
it's insane.
on paper they have a good offense, but at the end of the year, you might see them 10th.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
absolutely.
So I mean, like Washington, you gotta play a little better on defense. You can't give up 34 points.
They have some guys there. I mean, Bobby Wagner, that name. He was with the Seahawks forever. He's there. Frankie Louvu, solid linebacker as well. And then they have Marshawn Lattimore. I completely forgot he was even on that team, but they have him there. It's some good veteran guys to mix in and get in the mix, but you know what? They're not. They played a cupcake schedule. Well, we're going to say it. They played a cupcake schedule last year. They kind of got revitalized by that stupid tip drill against the Bears. I think they're getting exposed this year. And yes, Jaden Daniels is hurt, but even when he was out there, they weren't looking like this unbeatable NFC Championship contender, in my opinion. Sorry, Commanders fans.
Sorry, Brennan.
All right. Anything else in that game? I'm good to move on.
No, I'm good with the Dirty Birds. Are they 3-1 now?
2-2.
2-2. Okay.
Nice little bounce back after getting, blanked, like I said. Moving in, Bills 31, Saints 19. Nice little 4-0 to a 0-4 team. Saints, they have Kamara. Juwan Johnson's having a nice year. Chris Olave is still there. I mean, I don't know. You have to say something nice about him. That's about all I can say. They don't have a quarterback. Spencer Rattler's not the guy. They did kind of show a little bit of life, and then the Bills just took over, and we kind of saw that when Josh Allen took over.
I mean, the Saints weren't supposed to win this game, right? I mean, there's not much. There's a couple games you can say. There's not a whole lot to say about. We know the Saints were going to be good this year. We knew the Bills were, and
they finally had their first turnover this year across the board. 4 games in. Yeah. They finally had their first turnover, so Bills really good. I mean, they're going to be the NFC or AFC team to beat.
I think so.
And I was wrong. Hand up. I was wrong about James Cook. I thought he would bust out his ADP for fantasy, and he's been incredible.
Yeah.
So I'm eating my words already. I mean, it could fall off, but eating my words.
James is cooking.
Yep. Moving into another game that we can whip through pretty quickly is the Lions 34, Browns 10. Lions bounce back. They look like a lot better team. I think it was just like the first game jitters against the Packers, apparently. The Browns aren't good. They don't have a quarterback. Flacco really, really looks bad now. I think they need to go put Dylan Gabriel in there and just see what you got. And then, maybe Shadir after that. On one positive note, though, Quinton Judkins looks fucking awesome. 21 carries, 82 yards, 1 touchdown. I am glad to see the Dylan Sampson hype is done. I know too many people in fantasy who have him that talked him up or got that little glimmer of hope when Judkins was out. But I think you can just see Judkins run, and you can see he's he could be the number 1 back out of this class, and it's an incredible class.
I was just going to say that. It's shaping up to be quite the class with Hampton, Judkins. You weren't super sold on Genty, but he had a pretty darn good week this week. So, and there's Henderson. I don't think he's done too much.
Not yet. He had a decent week this week. We'll break him down a little bit later too. But yeah, this class is pretty good. It was nice having all 3 of those top guys with Hampton, Genty, and Judkins all go off in fantasy. So in theory, knock on wood, unless Fields and whoever else Pat has, Tyreek Hill, unless those guys all go off and outscore Jamar Chase, I should finally get my first victory in GI. So got it there.
There we go.
But yeah, Jahmyr Gibbs. Jahmyr on the flip side, yeah, Jahmyr Gibbs still really good. 15, 91, and 1. Amon-Ra, 2 touchdowns. Probably going to finish as the wide receiver 1 this year. You know, it was
He's
bound
a
to
stud.
happen. Yeah. All right. Next game is the New England Patriots and Carolina Panthers. Panthers lost 42-13. Patriots finish up 2-2 on the year. Drake May looks good. He only threw 17 passes, 200 yards, 2 touchdowns. That's all you need to do. Stephon Diggs is their clear number 1, which is good to see. 6 receptions, 101. Stevenson led in carries, 938, nothing, and then Trevion Henderson got in the end zone, 732 and 1. But there's just so many backs in that backfield because even Antonio Gibson scored.
Yeah, I mean, this is another team, right, with the Panthers, and it's like, what do you really expect from them? Not a whole lot either, but 42 points seemed like everything was working for the Patriots on Sunday, and I don't expect them to put up 42 points next week, but enjoy it because it seems like everybody was scoring.
Yeah, no shit, right? Well, I guess we'll see. Tet McMillan, he had a decent day, 462, but they got to start feeding them more. I think that offense will get buzzing, but we'll see. Bryce Young has been kind of a flop so far too. Anything else to close out that game?
Yeah, I'd like to see Bryce play better. That's what
Yeah,
I'd
no
like to
shit
see.
for your fantasy team.
Yeah.
Hey, he played well enough to beat me last week, so
Well, that's what I need.
yeah, I know you're 1 win. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Moving on to probably, honestly, the game of the week for me. It was a really exciting game, and it seemed like it was very lopsided the whole game. The Giants beating the Chargers 21-18. Giants got their first win. Jackson Dart went out there and kind of did his thing. Had a rushing touchdown, passing touchdown to Theo Johnson. Unfortunate news with Malik Neighbors tearing his ACL. That was bad. So, he loses his number 1 target for the year. Cam Scatabo, 79 yards rushing, 25 carries. He's just fun to watch. He's just kind of a goofball out there, a little bowling ball. On the flip side, Chargers looked bad for about 3.5 quarters, and then they turned it on. But what didn't look bad was Amarian Hampton, 12 carries, 128 yards, and 1. Another guy that's been really a surprise to me for fantasy and just across the board is Quentin Johnston, 898 and 1. The guy seems to always be getting the targets and touchdowns. I don't know what Lad McConkey did to Justin Herbert. I don't know if he hit on Madison Beer. I don't know what the hell happened, but somebody needs to wake him up because 1 reception for 11 yards is not going to cut it on my squad. So
That's not going to cut on my squad. No, sir. No, boy.
Nope.
Yeah.
Nope. He'll be riding the pine pony very shortly.
Yeah, Johnston has looked pretty good. I mean, for the most part this year, and good for whoever's got him. I tried to get him in a league, I think last year or 2 years ago or whatever, but couldn't get him. I also tried to get McConkey too, but I had picks early. Had to take better guys, right? So that's not a bad problem to have. Chargers though, I don't know how you lose this game, right? I mean, Giants.
No, that was bad.
Are not a good team. We know that. They're going to be towards the very, very bottom of the league. And then you lose one of the best receivers in the league, like you said, in Malik Neighbors. Well, there goes my hopes in Sleeper this year. So
Yeah.
now I'm done. But,
Yeah.
you can't lose this game. If you're the Chargers, this is a game where you're going to look back at the end of the year. You're going to see the Chiefs. They're starting to get going now. That's the problem. You can't let these, you got to let the sleeping dog do their thing, right? Let the sleeping dog play or whatever they say.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I think the Chargers still a good enough team that they'll manage to get out of it. They have a chance at that division just based off of the Chiefs. I mean, the Chiefs end up not. We'll touch on them a little bit later. I mean, they beat the Ravens, but that division's if the Chargers can split with them, they can absolutely win that division. Moving into another game. That was a fun one. Matchup of 2 3-0 teams, Eagles and Buccaneers. Eagles winning 31-25. I feel like we talk about this every year with Nick Sirianni is Why the hell? Like his play calling and just the overall what the fuck out of him too. This is the most I've sweared in weeks on the podcast. I'm just pissed because I'm AJ Brown and they refuse to throw him the fucking ball, man. I just don't get it, and I don't know if it's just they don't trust Jalen Hurts to throw the ball. He did last week, and it was fine. I don't know. I don't know what the issue is all of a sudden where Jalen they just don't want Jalen to throw it. It basically is the Jalen show. I don't know if they want him to win an MVP. I have no idea.
I don't know. That's why. Did you try to trade me AJ Brown, or was it somebody else?
I think last year. No, I did definitely have that conversation with you. I think it was last year for like a later
I don't
first,
know if it
but
was
yeah.
you or it might have been somebody else too. But I like AJ Brown. I think he's a number one, absolutely. But he has these games where he does nothing, and you can't have that when you're trying to get a guy like that. When you're looking for a true number one, you can't have that.
Yeah,
He,
I mean,
he's a
yeah, but
stud.
that's
He's a stud. I think he's a
yeah.
diva. We've heard some stuff about him, and maybe he was rubbing people the wrong way. I don't know what it is, but if he wants the ball more and they're not going to give it to him, maybe he should cry for a trade and he can go somewhere else. And Philly will
I
win
mean,
another Super Bowl without him.
I haven't really heard too much out of him too this year to start. Like he hasn't made
Well,
any comments like he did
we're
last
four
year.
games in.
I mean, it's also they're 4-0. If they were losing, I think it's a lot harder of a pill to swallow. I think the dude just wants to win, and I think that's fine. So I'll give him. But I mean, maybe he should start crying for my team. So my team, like, I need. That's the
Yeah,
part. That's the
yeah.
thing.
Maybe he should start crying wolf. Yeah.
I mean, losing Joe Burrow kind of sank me a little bit at the quarterback position, but Stafford came out. We'll touch on that game a little bit later. But back into the Eagles and Bucks. I don't know. The Bucks are a hard team to read because I think Baker Mayfield is like one of the swaggiest quarterbacks out there, and can absolutely. I was going to say revitalize, but he can just make your team so much better. And I know Bucky Irving got banged up. I know he's getting an MRI today. I got the alert. He really fed him. He had that one big, I think, 75, 80-yard touch reception. 72-yard reception for that touchdown late in that game. But, I mean, Tampa could not get going. I think Philly's defense is pretty good. The Eagles, I mean, they're beating the good teams. So, I mean, I can't say that they're going to sputter down the stretch, but they definitely need to get more well-rounded and pass the ball, please. Just to A.J. Brown, please.
Yeah. You know what? I'll call Nick and I'll talk to him for you.
Please, please. Next game, moving into this one will be quick. Houston and Tennessee, 26-0. C.J. Stroud had his get-right game. Kind of funny, they also traded a tackle, I think, today. So trading anyone off of that offensive line is actually hilarious to me. But back to the game. 2 touchdowns for Stroud. Woody Marks, breakout week. Hopefully people listen to me on fantasy and went out and picked him up. That'd be great. He added one. I think he had 2 touchdowns, 4 for 50 receiving, and then he had 17 carries, 69 yards, and a tutter.
Yeah, 26-0. I mean,
Not much to say. I mean, Texans aren't very good either.
we this was another team we knew going into it wasn't going to be great, and it's not because of Cam Ward. I think Cam Ward's a decent player, but who is he throwing the ball to? And
apparently Alec M. Manor. I'm really butchering that last name. I already know, but I mean, he's not feeding Calvin Ridley. I don't know. I think Brian it's not Brian Callahan. Whatever his name is, Callahan, the head coach. I think he gets fired at the end of this year. I really do, unless they give him an extra year and you give Cam Ward that. But man, ever since Derrick Henry left, it seems like the Titans are just an awful team. I don't really know that team.
yeah,
I got nothing. I literally have nothing on the
they had
Titans.
an identity, right? Everyone talks about an identity. They had that with Derrick Henry. They pounded the ball. They pounded the rock. They'd have a guy like
Yeah.
a Tannehill or somebody who could make some throws and do some things, but they don't have that right now, and you got to figure that out.
Yep, absolutely. Next game, another exciting one with the Rams and Colts, 27-20. I don't know if you caught any of this game, but this one was so much fun to watch. Kyron fumbled, I think, in the fourth quarter, kind of giving the Colts hope, and then the Rams ended up pulling it out. Stafford had this bomb to Tutu Atwell, which was his one reception for like 88 yards and one. But Puka Nacua, Puka has been incredible, and
He's the
he's kind of
man.
working. He's working his way up to be like a top 3 wide receiver. Honestly, we have so many good wide receivers to talk about.
Yeah.
13 receptions, 170 yards and one. I don't know.
It's
Stafford can
unbelievable.
still sling it. 3 touchdowns. He helped my fantasy team across the board, so that was nice.
Stafford is still the man, right? I mean, he's got to be getting closer to 40. I know he's got to be at least 35 now. I mean, he's been in the league a while, but
Yeah, I think he
on
is
the
40. No, maybe just 38, probably.
he's got to be right up there. But he's a guy. I mean, he's definitely been beat up a little bit, but yeah, you're right. He could still sling it. I think he had almost 400 yards in that game. I think you said 3 touchdowns. Um, Rams are a good team. I believe they're 3-1. I think they handed the Colts their first loss. The Colts look like they're a pretty solid team. I still don't maybe love the Colts. I like the Rams offense though. When Stafford can sling it like that, you mentioned Kyron. You've got a legit, like you said, top couple receiver in Puka. Um, Rams are good.
Devontae Adams there too. Yeah, and then
Devontae, right? Doing his Taco Bell commercials.
Adonai Mitchell too. He had that long touchdown basically, and he dropped the ball at the like 1 yard line. I don't know if you saw that. But Daniel Jones got exposed. He kind of fell back to earth a little bit. I think that's more of what we're going to see from him. Moving into a controversial game, Jacksonville winning against San Francisco 26-21. There was a lot of talk that entire week kind of going forward about Robert Salah, kind of basically saying that the Jacksonville Jaguars steal signs. I don't really have much other information on that other than that happened. I don't know. Trevor Lawrence still won't frickin' feed Brian Thomas. It's kind of killing me here. Yeah, I don't know. It's what's his
He was
name?
a stud last year.
Shane Waldron came to town and killed the wide receiver room. But Jags are 3-1. They beat a good 49ers team that's banged up. No Kittle, no Bosa. I guess we'll see what's going forward with them. But
Very
NTN's
interesting.
NTN's kind of been good. McCaffrey looks good. Purdy was a little inconsistent. They forced 4 turnovers. So, got anything on that one or?
Just Jacksonville being 3-1. I mean, I forget who's in that division, but I don't think anybody has Jacksonville winning it. But I don't think anyone had them being 3-1 through the first 4. And you get a couple easier games on there. Trevor needs to look a little bit better too. I think he threw for sub 200 yards. I mean, I don't know your thoughts on him, but it looks like he just has not been the guy that everybody said he was supposed to be. So we need to see a little bit more out of him.
Absolutely. Moving into what should have been the game of the week with the Chiefs and Ravens, but the Chiefs really stuck it to the Ravens. 4 touchdown passes from Patrick Mahomes. I think this is like the 18th time he's done that in his career, which is insane to say. Kansas City's rushing attack still is like non-existent. It's something that they're fighting through. And then overall, Lamar got hurt. He hurt his hamstring, so that's gonna kind of hamper him going forward. And Ravens fall to 1-3. They've had a really tough schedule, and I think overall we're talking about possibly the end of not end of an era with Baltimore, but they definitely are beatable.
Well, right. I don't know how bad the injury is to Lamar. I don't know if he's going to have to. Is he going to miss any time, or is this just going to be like something he's going to nurse?
TBD. I haven't heard anything bigger than the fact that he hurt his hamstring and that's why he got pulled out.
Do they still have that guy? What is his name? Nick Huntley or?
No, it's Cooper Rush now.
Oh, it's Cooper, huh? Yeah, I mean Baltimore's still a good team. This was Kansas City getting right a little bit. We expect Kansas City to be a good team. Mahomes throwing 4 touchdowns. I know that he hasn't been the guy he wasn't as electrifying as he was the last couple of years, but he's always got that in his pocket. So
absolutely, and Chiefs got right, and I think they're going to go on a nice little win streak here. Now probably the game of the week for the Chicago fans. The Bears looked awful on offense for the whole first half. Ben Johnson was fuming. If you saw that little halftime press conference sideline interview that they did, he was so pissed off. Caleb ended up leading him to a game-winning drive. Swift got the game-winning game-winning touchdown. Defense has so many holes. I mean, they forced 3 interceptions, which is great against Geno
Yeah.
Smith, but I think that falls more on Geno Smith. I mean, they gave up 3 touchdowns alone to Ashton Genty.
You can't
But, it was
you
capped
can't
off.
be throwing 3 picks to the Bears defense, right? I don't think our defense is supposed to be that good. That's on Geno. But hey, you know what? We had the blocked field goal at the end of the game. I was
So exciting.
I was unfortunately absent for this game because we had plans to go to a pumpkin farm. So we had to do the pumpkin farm on Sunday, but pumpkin farm was good, but we had to miss the Bears game. So I was informed of the blocked field goal by Miss Maria, and that's why I had to put that in the review there. But what a game to miss! I had when we went through our little predictions, I had us I think at like 9-8 or something like that. And I had us 2-2 through the first 4. So we're gonna see what happens. I don't know if we're gonna win 9 games. I don't know if we're gonna win 8 games, but we're 2-2 through the first 4. So.
Yeah, you know what? I said that we were going to be you guys were going to be 3-1 going into the bye week, which you are now. You're 2-2. So, I mean, I think I think the team showed some fight. I think the offense is pretty good. I think obviously 25 points isn't enough to win. I know Caleb threw 1 interception that was pretty bad, but I mean, overall, I mean, it's a work in progress. I said after 4 weeks, you're going to see what team you got. I think the defense is shit. I think that's the biggest takeaway from this is that, I mean, it's a get right game. I think if you're facing the Bears in fantasy, you better hope that you have the offensive player. But I mean, Caleb Williams showing that, why he is a number 1 overall pick and he can lead you down and lead you to a game-winning drive.
2-2 for the first 4. I forget who we play next week. I have to look at the schedule, but
it's a bye week, and then it's a bye week, and then I think you got Commanders on Monday night. I think it's the Monday night game. So Jaden Daniels might be back. So
we'll beat him.
I mean, if you guys beat them, you're putting yourself in a good spot. That's a must win there. But yeah, Bears win. Enjoy the bye week at the right time. Then the final game finished in a tie, 40-40. Can't believe that the Packers and Cowboys finished in a tie in overtime.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I mean, that game just kind of kept going back and forth. Everyone just kept scoring, and you're like, all right, like it almost felt like whoever has the ball at the end is going to win. Green Bay had the ball at the end, but couldn't get in the end zone. Then you go to overtime, and yeah, it was a fun game though. Fun game to watch. I don't think anybody wants to see the games end in a tie, but they didn't want to see 4 or 5 different overtimes. So
I think we need to get into something where like it gets into a sudden death, like kind of like the college rules, where like if you go to overtime, each team gets the ball, you score, you win, or not win, but you score, then you hold them, you win. I know these offenses are a lot better and a lot more intricate, but I think enough with these ties. I think it's bullshit. But the touch on Green Bay real quick, I think they've kind of sputtered a little bit the last couple games.
It seems they've slowed down since the Detroit game, yeah.
And it's funny that we say that too when they scored 40 fucking points and Jordan Love threw for 3 touchdowns.
You can't give up 40
350 yards. No, you cannot give up that, and that was like a strength that we thought that the Packers had was their defense. So Parsons, it was his homecoming, and I felt like he really didn't do a whole lot that made a difference. I mean, he had a sack, so but Dak held tough down the stretch, threw for 3 touchdowns. Javonte Williams, at least I was right on one thing. He has kind of revitalized his career this year. And then without CeeDee Lamb, George Pickens stepped up.
Pickens had some great catches in that game.
Insane. So good for him. I don't think the Cowboys are very good. I still think that's a pretty easy matchup. And I guess we should go into real quickly the Monday night matchups. I know you touched on them. Obviously, we got the 0-3 Jets versus the 0-3 Miami Dolphins. Somebody has to win this game.
I don't know. It could be a tie.
Yeah. I don't know. If it ends in a tie, that'd be hilarious.
I'm picking you guys. I'm picking you guys.
Yeah, I think Miami's just a really
They're
really
really
bad.
bad.
Yeah.
No offense to anyone on the Dolphins, but you guys are bad.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, who knows? Fields could go off tonight and have a get-right game that gets everybody going. But,
Fields will
I mean,
run for 2 and throw for 1 or 2.
I'd be happy with that. I mean, I hope he doesn't do that, because I am also going against him in a Monday night game, so hopefully that doesn't happen. But anyway,
you want to win?
Let's go. Let's go Jets.
Let's go Jets. You're gonna do 1-3 after tonight.
1-3. Let's go. Turning the season around. All right, we'll close it out there.